think. My question is what you actually think.
That is what I think.
Your question is
what I like to think is what I think.
It's not even valid.
It's about my self-love and how I perceive myself.
Valid?
Because how are we supposed to know what other men think? I'm a woman. I don't have the mind of a man.
I'm not asking you to know what
you
they
are
think.
asking me. You're asking me to. How would they judge me? How am I supposed to know?
Yeah, I'm just asking what you think they would guess.
I don't know. Whatever they guess. Like, you know what I mean? It's an invalid question.
I'll take a crack.
It's an invalid question. Okay, hang on. I got it. It's an invalid question. If a bird hit that window doing 1,000 miles an hour, what do you think would happen?
They would die.
Oh, wait. Suddenly, when it comes to a hypothetical, you can, even though it hasn't happened, you don't know exactly what would happen, you can somehow make a guess as to what would happen. But in this case, your brain, it just is empty. You have no idea what they'd ever say.
You're hurting my brain.
Yeah, I'm sure. And every Egyptian man would agree with me.
No, they wouldn't.
I don't even think we should grant this geographical move. You guys currently reside in the United States, so what would men,
in the United States,
a cross section of men,
I think
who
I
live
would
in the
be,
United
and
States?
I think I would be at 8 to 9. 9. I would say 9 in my.
9. Okay.
Yeah,
what about
9
you?
for me.
You guys are twins, so
I would say the same
yeah.
answer. Yeah.
9. Okay. So still 10, 9, 9. Somebody gonna tell him? Somebody tell him? Madison, you want to tell him? Morgan, you want to tell him?
So it would actually, I just want to let you know that what you're saying is that you think 1,000 out of 1,000 men would essentially vote 9 or 10 or 8 for every single one of you to the point that you would average out to a 9 or a 10.
Yeah.
This would put you at the highest, hang on, this would put you at the highest beauty standards of the entirety of planet Earth, the highest possible beauty standards. So that you understand what that means, every single woman who has come on this podcast has given a similar answer to that, which means that either A, Brian Atlas only books the most beautiful women in the world to come on whatever,
hottest chicks,
or the more likely possibility. If, for instance, if I were to ask you this question, you two twins in the back, and I'll let you both answer. If you right now had to make a gamble, had to make a gamble, and if you were wrong on the gamble, you instantly drop dead. That was the consequence of the gamble. Fine. If you had to either gamble, A, that Brian Atlas brings the most beautiful women on the podcast ever,
that's true,
or B, that the women who mostly come on the podcast are delusional when it comes to self-ratings, which way would you gamble?
I would not gamble because it's haram, first of all.
Yeah, I know, but you have to.
You're asking the wrong person.
If
so
you
I'm
had
sorry.
to.
Yeah, I know.
It's against my religion.
You know what's not haram? A hypothetical. So engage in the hypothetical.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Okay, I just don't understand, why do you want us to look at ourselves lower?
No. Hold on.
Why?
Hold on.
I don't get
you can't weasel answer his question.
I just don't understand.
I'm more than happy to be humbled by saying I'm a 1. I would say that I could be a 1. I'd be happy with that
Can you
answer.
answer my question?
Yeah, answer the actual question.
Wait, what was the question?
The question is, if you had to gamble and the stakes were your life, would you either gamble A, that Brian Atlas brings the most beautiful women in the world on his podcast and fills the entire podcast with them, or B, that most of the women who come on the podcast are delusional when it comes to their self-rating? Hang on. You didn't even hear the second part of the question.
Yeah, I heard. I remembered. Or you will die.
How can you answer before you even heard the second part of the question?
Because I know the answer. I know the answer. It's not delusion. You shouldn't feel like a woman who self-love or whatever thinks that everyone here is beautiful is delusional. That's self-hate.
That's not what it is.
Trying to spread hate.
The question is not whether or not you shouldn't have a high estimate of your own looks. The question is diverting to the gaze of males, and whether or not men would judge you the same way you judge yourself.
That question is invalid.
Hang on. Your answer is yes, they would. And so my question becomes, if that is so, and every single woman who comes on this podcast gives a similar answer, then that would be conceding that Brian Atlas just has the most beautiful women on his podcast.
Yes, and then that audience would agree by placebo effect.
Placebo
effect. Because when everyone is like, oh wow, like I'm so
placebo
beautiful,
effect.
they think that they're very beautiful up in here. Like all the people
Do
here.
you realize that the
Favorite kind of
placebo
gazebo.
effect would indicate that you
Gazebo
were
effect.
wrong? The placebo
wouldn't.
effect is saying there is no actual consequence here, but it's make believe and all in your head.
heads. Yes,
the placebo
that's what I'm
effect
saying.
is a delusion. Do you realize that?
He got you.
Wait, what?
He's right.
The placebo effect is a delusion.
Yeah.
But that's not what I feel like
Yeah,
she was trying
you
to
say
say.
No,
it's
I'm
all
saying
delusional.
the people watching. I didn't say the women. I said it's the placebo effect on the
Oh, you
people.
said- you
You're
said
not
women.
listening to my goddamn statement. You're just sitting up here
come on.
talking
You
so
said the
damn much. You're
women,
not
it
even
would be the
listening.
placebo effect.
I just said there's a placebo effect on the audience, not the people
Women
on here.
themselves.
You're just
Oh, it's not the.
you're
it's not,
delusional. You're delusional.
So do you think that the women, all of the women who come on the whatever podcast, just happen to be the most beautiful women in the whole world, or do you think that they might have a slightly higher estimation of themselves than the general public would?
I would like to see a woman be self-confident in herself, and I would
What does
not
it have
like
to do with confidence?
because
Not
it,
question.
because
How are
view
you going to
yourself.
say that
You look in
they
the
are
mirror,
naturally attractive? That's on your
You look in the
opinion.
mirror and you
That's
think
your
you're a one?
opinion.
Like, no.
Based on how you were raised, based off of your programming, your programming is telling me that I am beautiful to you off of 1 to 10. Why do I give a damn? I don't. So why would
Well, you
I
don't,
think
but
in
that's
the
not the
way of a
question.
man? I'm
Yeah,
not going
yeah,
to think
I
in a
know.
way
Can
of a
you answer
man.
the question?
That's why the question is not. It's like
Nobody
it's just
gives
to
a shit
debunk
about the
because
diatribes.
we
Just
are
answer
not
the
men.
question.
How will we know
No,
that?
yeah, we
So
don't
we can
know.
only give our estimated guess based off ourselves, based off of a woman's
I
standpoint.
think
All
of
right, hang
myself.
on. I get it now. Due to the fact that leprechauns and unicorns mate in the sky and there's rainbows underneath Skittles on top of hills which exist within ants who are chocolate covered, leflipidoos are often green.
Well, I'm just
Can
going
you
based
answer the
off of my
fucking
life
question I
experience,
asked,
to be
Or are you
honest.
going to keep obfuscating into shit that I don't care about? My question is, does Brian Atlas bring on the most beautiful women in the world?
Yes, I already said the
Or,
answer.
Alternatively, do they have a higher estimation of themselves than they actually believe that they do? That's my question.
Number one.
Answer the question.
Number one, I answered it. I circled it 3 times.
No,
A.
you didn't. What you did was you said
Tell
that
your mic
unicorns
down.
live underground with
Sorry.
gophers, and sometimes they wear green hats.
Well,
Nobody
you're
gives a
just
shit. Answer
delusional,
the
so that's why
question.
you're mad that you want me to join your delusional.
Answer the
I
question.
did.
You didn't. Saying that you answered the question doesn't mean you answered it. It just means that you're full of shit. Answer the question.
I'm full of shit.
Wait, Andrew, isn't a component of the question under threat of death? So,
Yes.
like, they would die, basically. Okay.
No, what's going on is they actually haven't answered the question. They've gone out of their way to do everything but answer it. So I'm going to ask one more time. This time, just
You don't
give
have
me
to.
the
You know what?
direct-
I'll just give you what you
I
want.
just want-
I'm gonna give
okay,
you what
yeah,
you
yeah, give me
want.
the direct question.
We are saying what we think is our higher self, whatever you want to say. That's my answer.
What? And if your higher self were to not map onto reality, but you thought it would have a better effect
Well, I do
on
think I'm a 10,
society-
so
Hang
why
on,
should I
hang
say
on,
that I'm
stop.
not?
Let me ask the question.
Right?
If you were to think that whatever the higher self of people was, even if it was a lie, but it had a better effect, would you still recommend that people go with their higher self?
Yes.
Then
Why wouldn't
you have
would
just
you?
stated
Would
that
you?
there's no reason
Would you?
to ever believe you when you say your higher self, ever.
Would you? Would you go with your lower self or your higher self?
I would go with reality.
Which is what?
Which is what?
Reality would
women
be
rate you?
some type of, in this particular case, inside the context of the question, the objective reality
What do
of
you rate me?
If I were to take, stop, I'm answering the question. If I were to take 1,000 women and they were to all rate me based on Western standards of beauty, I think that collectively they would come up with something pretty close to a
Can we
4.
rate you?
Sure, go ahead.
Wait, can it be a table thing? Because I don't want to be the only one.
Sure, go ahead.
There you go. Should we start?
And you know what I'll do?
You get to
Let
go
me see what
first.
I
happens
would
if I
say
average
I would
this.
really say that you're like a 7. Like you're giving like Prince vibes. Like you
I
just
would
grew
say you're a
up.
liar, but no, just physical beauty.
Yeah,
Physical
I'm
beauty.
talking about physical beauty.
Only.
You look like a 7. You look like
You've
you're
never heard me say a
you look
word.
like you
I'm
were like
just
a former
walking around.
prince, like somebody that used to be a prince back when he was younger.
Yeah.
Like you're a
Okay.
7. Yeah.
7.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Into the mics, guys.
I feel the same way. I feel like you have a lot of features that make a prince, and when I watch certain things, I call certain men a prince. I feel like you would be a prince. I don't know how.
European beauty.
You know what?
Rate
Brian instead. Do that. Let's see if we get closer to a 5 with Brian. I did not realize that I was regal and walked around with a robe and had a nice scepter. I did not realize that I was princely
look what that
material.
did.
But perhaps Brian
Self-confidence.
is more peasant material. Let's
It's
try
that
Brian
luscious
instead.
hair and that beard. Come on now.
Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Like in your eyes.
It's a 7.
I think you have blue eyes. Are your eyes blue or am I tripping?
Look at you smiling. Now you're
No,
an
my
8.
eyes-
Stop
my
it,
eyes are blue,
Andrew.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I mean.
All right.
Brian's eyes are also blue, just so you know.
Why are you deflecting? Just accept. Just accept the compliments. You're a 7. Just take it.
Do you know, hang on, you do realize that after hearing so many self-delusional answers from you, all of you, there's no actual way for me to believe that any type of fluffing up of the ego, which you are currently attempting in order to obfuscate from questions, means that it is in any way based in the reality of what you actually think. It can't be so, because when I ask you what you think of yourselves, the answers are clearly so fucking delusional, I don't believe you believe it.
I believe it. Put me in a lie detector. Put me in a motherfucking lie detector. Then ask me that dang question again.
But you're a preference.
All right.
Preference-wise,
I'll
you're a
tangle.
7.
All right.
I'll tangle on this for a little bit, Andrew. I'll take the reins. So a couple questions here. Do you think all women are 10s?
Not every woman, but yeah, I think that like a majority of people here today are 10s.
The majority of women here are 10s.
Yes.
Why don't you guys just scoot into the table so you don't have to
Yes, sorry.
be.
I'm trying.
All right.
Sorry.
So what about just women in general?
I feel like
Yes.
everyone has beauty to them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has like something beautiful about them that no one else can
So do
really
you think,
have.
since you're saying all the women here are 10s, you're just, in terms of looks, you're not better looking than any of the women here?
No.
Everyone here is just equal in looks.
I didn't say equal, but they all have something that's, I would say, that's more, in
Yeah,
my
they're
opinion,
different.
more
Yes,
beautiful
they
than the other,
look
and we're
different. They
Yeah.
look different, but in terms of their Burmese, thank you for the gifted 20. In terms of their,
No one's equal. They all have different
yeah,
unique
there's,
features.
yeah, some people have blue
Physically.
eyes, some people have blonde hair. We get that, but there could be a blonde who's a 10, a brunette who's a 10, and a blonde who's a 7, and a brunette who's a 7.
Okay.
And
Okay.
even in that 7, even the one
But so
that's a
everyone
7,
here is just comparable in terms of their physical attractiveness.
Yeah, I would say it's in the high 8
Okay.
and 10s. Like everyone here has have a very beautiful thing about them.
Everyone's
physically.
in the what?
They have everybody, majority of people here have very beautiful physical features.
Okay. Are you the most attractive girl here?
No.
Or just everybody's just equal?
It's not equal. It's just everyone has different
own unique features.
Yeah, I know
that
they're
make them
unique,
that.
but, like-
and I wouldn't say that could equate to that. Like, there's no equality towards beauty.
And she's
It's,
not
like,
saying
different.
like, oh, I'm more beautiful than everyone else here. She's saying that everyone has their own
Right.
beauty.
Okay,
and I
couple
have my
questions.
own beauty.
beauty. Like, there's
So
different.
you kind of reject this, the hierarchy of appearance then?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
This is not me.
Would you, do you guys have a height preference?
Wait, am I going on a date with somebody here?
No, just answer the question. Do you have a height preference? How tall are you?
No, I don't have a height
You
preference.
don't care? How tall are you?
I'm 5'6".
And I'm assuming you're 5'6" given the
she's
twin.
5'5" and a half.
5'5" and a
Yeah.
half. She's an inch taller.
Okay, so you're 5'6". Do you have a height preference when it comes to men?
Yeah, I prefer tall men, taller men.
Okay, so what are we talking here? What's the minimum?
6'1".
6'1". Okay, so that puts men. That's about I believe they have to be in the 10th percentile to that's the top 10% of height to be 6'1". You've not had a relationship, is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay. Of the men that you've dated, even short term, what was the last guy you dated? How tall was he?
6'2",
What about the guy before that?
5'8".
What about the guy before that?
None.
Just the two guys. Okay, so 6'2", 5'8". All right. And then what about you? Last guy you dated? The
Yeah, I would say he was 6'3".
6'3". Okay,
Yeah.
so it's interestingly enough, even though, well, so you guys do care about height then?
Not necessarily, but if it comes with it, then hey,
It's
I'm
something
not.
that-
Would you date a guy who's shorter than you?
I don't know. It just depends on who he is, his character.
Yeah, I don't really know. It depends on character as well.
Yeah.
Would he have to make up for it?
No, the thing is, like, I wouldn't really, like, height is not a big thing to me. It's more
You don't
like
care
if
at all?
if the energy, the vibe, and everything that it's
Sure,
morally
let's assume
standing.
the
like,
energy's, the vibe
everything's
is good.
perfect, then yeah. If everything's going
No,
well,
not perfect. Not perfect.
Not
It's just
perfect, but
good.
aligning, like
it's just good.
If you're aligning with me, then yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, maybe you would date a 5'5" billionaire who's like got a huge PP and his face is perfect and he's the sweetest guy ever. Maybe you'll accept dating a short guy then, but I'm just saying, would you date like a normal guy who's 5'5"?
Yeah, if it's still,
Okay.
if we're aligned mentally, physically, like we like to do the same things spiritually,
Okay.
like I'm just
but
saying aligned.
conveniently,
Based
you-
off physicality, no. Because if that's solely based off physicality, but that's not even
right.
something I would do.
So but then you don't have a height preference then.
No,
I thought
I don't.
didn't you just say you do though?
You asked.
I said
her.
I said that
prefer,
I would
yes,
after
you
experiencing
prefer.
a taller guy. Yeah, it's just nicer.
you do
It's
have
a
a
little bit more
preference.
submissive. No,
It's more submissive.
for me.
Okay, so you are rank ordering men based on their physical appearance.
No, because
Yes.
I was with somebody that was basically the same height as me.
5'8".
Yeah,
That's 1 inch off of the average.
but my
male height.
hair.
What does that
I'm
have to do with anything?
I'm 5'8". With this hair, I'm up
Okay.
here. We're the same height.
All right, and then what about? Are there any other physical, like you did an obese guy
No.
No?
If you don't, I would not date an obese guy.
because of how it looks?
No, because
for-
it's just like there's just it's kind of haram in my religion to be obese because it's like you have to love
Take care
life,
of your
love
body,
life,
take
take
care
care
of
of your
yourself.
body, take care of yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're naturally just a chubby person, that's fine. But if you're obese, that's another thing. That's another thing.
Okay. Have you ever known a girl who? You've maybe heard of this phenomenon of like a good-looking girl who's dating like a guy who's kind of mid.
Yeah, an ugly
Yeah,
guy.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But what? So why are you able to make a determination as to a guy's physical appearance, but you can't make a determination as to women's physical
Because
appearance?
I see women differently than I see men.
Why? How do you see women differently than you see men?
I don't look at women's physicality.
So you
and men's
objectify
physical-
men, but you don't objectify.
I never
women.
objectified a man.
Isn't that exactly what you're doing?
What am
You're-
I doing?
You're objectifying
I
them
never
based
said.
on their appearance.
What did I say? That was objectifying the man off his appearance.
You said, I don't treat women X way, but
No,
I
what?
do
I
treat
don't
men
view
this way.
women how she views men.
Men, yeah.
When she looks at
I
a
didn't
woman,
say treat.
she notices her beauty.
Okay, then
versus a
disregard the
man.
objectify comment. How are you able to make determinations as to physical appearance when it comes to men, but not women?
Because I see women differently.
How do you see them
I
differently?
don't see this. I don't see her as someone I'm going to marry. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? I'm not.
So
lesbian.
even if people your own sex, you can't make any determinations as to somebody's like maybe you can't
It's just
precisely.
not as serious to me when it comes to a woman. I just appreciate her beauty. I'm not going to sit here and really examine her because she's not someone I'm going to have kids with. I'm not.
So
gay.
if you were a talent agent for a modeling agency and knowing that modeling, typically, not always, but typically tends to prefer to have people who are physically attractive and good looking, you would just be incapable.
I've seen a lot of
let me
Asian
finish.
models that
You
are
would just be incapable of making any determinations as to women's physical appearance.
I actually disagree with you. Modeling agencies
What do you
not.
disagree?
Modeling
What does
agencies
that have
look for
anything-
different people that look different. You don't have to be physically attractive. If you look different, they want you. You don't have to be beautiful. You could look so crazy to other people, and everyone could bully you and say that you're ugly as hell your whole time.
It's
but you got signed.
2005, and it's
got
fucking. You
signed.
work for Abercrombie and Fitch or whatever the
They're
fuck
racist.
that
I don't
company
even
was.
debunk them.
Who cares? You work for that company. It's 2005, before all this woke bullshit about like putting obese models out there. So okay, so you're the talent scout for this company. And your job is to find attractive people. You would be incapable of making determinations
No, I
as to a
am.
woman's physical
I am.
appearance.
I am.
Okay. So then how is it that you view men and women differently in this regard?
I'm just saying that, like, with a woman's beauty, it's just more, it's just different. Women have more beauty in this life than a man. Like, there's more attractive women than attractive men, in my personal opinion. Like, that's what I believe.
It's like the body, it's the face.
There's
the
more
features.
to notice about a woman and check mark versus a man. It's
What
like
does
a
that
woman has
have
way
to
more
do with
detail.
it?
A man
It
can
has a
be
lot to do with it 'cause
scrawny
her
and
body,
skinny.
her
He can
physicality is
have the most
completely
beautiful
different
girl.
than a man's physicality. Yeah. What do you mean? What's
He
not
doesn't
making
have
sense?
to be fit. He doesn't have to be fit to have a beautiful
Okay,
girl.
so just to be clear, all women should view themselves as 10s, but not all men should view themselves as 10s?
I didn't say that. The men should men
Even a
and
guy-
women should
so-
see,
so a
see
guy
themselves
who's
for
mid,
what they truly believe.
Should a guy who is mid think he's a 10?
Guys who are mid do think they're 10s.
No, that's not the question. Should they think they're 10?
They already do, so it
No,
doesn't
they
make a
don't.
difference what I say.
No, they don't.
They do.
Wait, do you guys agree?
They
Is this just a one thing? Like, is this just us?
No, it's not one
Hold
thing.
on.
I do have one quick follow-up question before we move on. And this is specifically to you, Italia. Just a very simple question. Can you get very close to the mic so I can actually hear your answer? Okay. How would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast this morning?
Sassy.
Okay. And then over to your twin, how would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast this morning?
I would say just weak, like Aggie.
Okay.
The voice? No, you did. Okay. I didn't have.
Also fair.
So, I'm trying. Where did
What
I?
type of question was that?
Where did I? Oh, okay. So
It's a dumbass meme. It's just fun to do every once in a while for no particularly good reason. There are people who have trouble engaging in hypotheticals. This meme, which by the way means nothing. There's no scientific backing. Total meme. But it is interesting many times when I engage with people who can't engage in hypotheticals. If I ask them, how would you feel if you hadn't eaten breakfast this morning? What they end up saying is, but I did eat breakfast this morning, which is, that's what the meme claims
So I passed the
they
test.
would say. No, you didn't say that.
Oh, so wait, so I passed though. That means I'm not delusional?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
great.
no. It means
Thank
you can engage
No, you
in
just
a
said it. You
hypothetical.
just said it. I didn't hear you more.
No,
You said it. You said it.
stop.
It's okay.
It means you can engage in a hypothetical, but you're still fucking delusional. I mean, this whole take is completely delusional. It makes no sense whatsoever.
So we were talking about mid dudes thinking they're 10s.
I feel like everyone would agree with that.
Would anyone like to chime
that a
in? Does
thing?
anyone want to chime in?
Yeah.
this
So,
conversation?
so you think that that's wrong, right? You don't think that's wrong?
Shoot, I don't know.
You don't think it's wrong?
What's
for,
wrong if a mid guy thinks he's a 10?
I don't think that's wrong. Like, what's wrong with that?